Today is Thursday, which we've made it through yet another week, and apparently this week we get the news that the Tesla Roadster coming in 2020 is going to be the best car ever. Let's talk about it. This is MWG Tech, and this video series is Tesla Thursday. It is our 9th episode of Tesla Thursday, which is kind of surprising. I'm surprised I made it to 9. Now let's hope for 18, then 27, and of course all the multiples of 9. But let's talk about that Tesla Roadster, because this is going to be the supercar of all supercars. Let me just give you these base specs. Remember, these are base specs. It's going to have a 621 mile range. It's going to have a rumored 200 kilowatt battery, so that's just insane. Imagine what you could do with 600 miles. I know from here, like for Florida, you go from Miami to Jacksonville, which is the entire state, which is insane. The Roadster also has a 0 to 60 time in 1.9 seconds. And imagine this is just the base Roadster. So once it gets upgraded, imagine what this thing could do. And it could also do 250 plus miles per hour of speed with, again, the base model. But apparently, Elon Musk had a little thread on Twitter, which I think is super interesting, on how the Tesla is going to be even faster and how these upgrades are going to go away from that base version. And first off, Elon Musk said the new Roadster will actually do something like this, and he pointed at a GIF of the Roadster possibly levitating in the future. Not like flying away, like flying all across the place, just levitating. So I think that's super cool. Then Marcus Brownlee responded to that tweet of the Roadster possibly levitating, and we of course know him as a top tech YouTuber. But then Marquez said this: the thing is, I feel like you're not joking, and we know Elon, he is dead serious when he tweets. Elon Musk responded to that, I'm not. We will use SpaceX cold gas thruster system with ultra high pressure air in a composite overwrap pressure vessel in place of the 2 rear seats. Just to simplify this a little bit, they're going to use compressed air not only to get the Roadster going horizontally, but also vertically. That is going to be super insane. Elon, I would love to see this in person. And just to wrap up this Twitter conversation, Marquez said, by the way, this is going to be unreal to drive in. And then Elon said after that, plus you can basically accelerate at the limit of human endurance. And then someone says quarter mile in less than 8 seconds. Elon says no problem. But the question after that is vertically or horizontally? How about both? Stepping away from that insane 0 to 60 time from the Tesla Roadster, we can move to the Model S, which isn't a bad 0 to 60 car itself, but the 75D on the Model S and the 75D on the Model X is now officially going to weigh in now a week. So if you want those two versions, the Model S starting at 76,000 and the Model X starting at 84,000, if you want those two battery versions, you're going to have to buy them now. But I don't know if I recommend that, because the next option for a battery size for the Model S is the $94,000 100 kilowatt battery D. What? That begs the question, is Tesla going to unveil a brand new kilowatt battery capacity for both the Model S and X? Because right now it's not really differentiating itself from the Model 3, because the Model 3 still gets a modest 310 miles of range. The Model S only gets 20 more miles than that, and of course the Model X has 290 because it's carrying all of that weight. But still, if Tesla unveils a new battery, you don't want to be caught with the 75 kilowatt battery when the 100 kilowatt batteries move down in price, maybe by 20,000. So I would probably just wait and see. If you want a Model S or X, just wait for a month, and then once the 75D is completely out and possibly these new battery configurations go in, I'll wait to see the prices for that. Because as always, battery technology is just constantly getting better and better, and more importantly, cheaper. That's why the $35,000 Model 3 is going to exist, because the cost per battery is just going, ooh. I need a sip of water quick. Oh, and by the way, this is a customized MWG water bottle. I just wanted to point that out quick. But keeping the topic on Tesla, Elon Musk and a few members of his team met with some high-ranking Chinese officials because they just started to break ground on the Giga Factory 3 in China. And this factory is actually very important for Tesla because Chinese people buy up EVs like this. They buy them just everywhere. They love the Neo cars. They love other types of cars. I mentioned this on previous episodes of Tesla Thursday. But right now, because of these trade tariffs and the shipping costs to ship a car from San Francisco to Shanghai, China, Tesla has it right now in early 2019. When they import those Model 3s, they're going to be selling them at a ramp up in the price. So instead of that decent $44,000 price here, it is going to kind of be like $70,000 if you're going to compare it to the US dollars over there in China. And that's the same thing with the Model S and X. That's why Tesla isn't doing fantastic in China. They're just doing just fine. But if they get their own factory in there when they don't have to pay any shipping costs, then Tesla's going to be doing really, really fine. One electric vehicle that almost keeps up with the Model S and X sales, notice how I didn't mention Model 3 sales because the Model 3 is absolutely killing the game, but that EV is called the Nissan Leaf. And this past week is CES week, Consumer Electronics Show, and this is where a bunch of tech companies unveil all of their latest tech and gadgets, and including in that tech company category was Nissan unveiling the Nissan Leaf E Plus. And this is where we finally get a Nissan Leaf above 200 miles of range. Let me just read the specs to you quick. It's going to have a 62 kilowatt battery, which is kind of the same in the base Model 3. So that's competitive there. It's going to have a 226 mile range, which is yet again, since the same battery capacity, it's going to get around the same range. It's going to have a 160 kilowatt motor, 215 horsepower, and that's going to give it around a 0 to 60 in 6 seconds, which isn't that bad. But also the price is going to be around $36,000. And that $35,000 price point, $36,000 price point is going to be extremely competitive because we're going to have the Kona EV there. We already have the Chevy Volt there. We're going to have the Model 3. We're going to have this Nissan Leaf Plus there. So around the $35,000 range, that's where we're going to be at for 2019 baseline EVs. And with all of them getting over 200 miles of range, you cannot complain at all. At least for me here, 220 miles of range is practically all you need. And with the Nissan Leaf now having supercharged capability of up to 100 kilowatts per hour, I think that's pretty good. I mean, not so bad. You have to give Nissan credit where credit's due. At least it is an improvement over their 24 kilowatt batteries in those 2010 Nissan Leafs. Those 70 miles of range, that definitely gave you some range anxiety for sure. But 220 miles, you could go on road trips all the time. Just hopefully the battery is liquid cooled. If not, you still gotta go with the Model 3. And the last topic that we have for this Tesla Thursday is not a car, but instead an electric motorcycle, which pretty much costs the same amount as a car. So I don't know why you wouldn't get a car unless you were for that motorcycle life. But guess what? When you do this, it's no longer going to make a noise because Harley-Davidson is going to unveil their perfect 100% electric motorcycle later this year, starting at a price of $30,000. So my question for you is Model 3 or Harley-Davidson electric motorcycle? It really depends on your lifestyle, but I know I'm going with the Model 3. 100% out of 100%. Yes. But that right there is all we have for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.